Can we give a shout out to this Hermès CEO that he rejected financial predator Jeffrey Epstein's outreach? I mean, we're not going to go to the other Epstein stories. We'll go on that on Friday. But here's Hermès CEO, okay? This guy was approached allegedly by Epstein. Rob, I think this is on page 7. Is that him? Is that this? Yeah, there you go. So let me read this to you. Everyone's being hit up in a negative way. Let's give a good story here. Axel Dumas told Reuters that Epstein approached him in 2013 as the company was defending itself against a hostile takeover attempt by Louis Vuitton. I think I was a target. I was a young CEO, and we were in the middle of LVMH affair. He was a financial predator. Dumas was quoted as saying he already had a hateful reputation. Documents released by the Justice Department showed that Epstein sent several messages to Dumas' assistant in 2013 and 2014, asking for meetings with the CEO. Epstein also sought the company's help in designing his private jet, but Hermès refused. Dumas told Reuters that he met with Epstein once in March 2013 during a company event at an Atelier where the brand makes its product. According to Dumas, Epstein was not on the guest list. Indeed, instead he joined a group that included an award-winning director, Woody Allen, and his wife. Dumas told Reuters that Epstein kept trying to get an audience with him. After that, he tried 3 times to meet with me, and I refused every time. The exec recounted. I can't tell you exactly what we knew about him or not, because I can't remember 13 years ago, but he already had a loathsome reputation. The DOJ files, including small receipts of purchase made at Hermès store in Paris, show Epstein was a fan of the French brand that caters to the ultra-wealthy and had emailed to ask if it could design my plane. In one email to his assistant, Epstein writes, track down Axel Dumas in Hermès headquarters, Paris. The email shows Dumas' own assistant politely refusing Epstein's invitations to meet him in November 13 and January 2014, citing a prior engagement. What do you think about the story? What do you think about the story? Snyder, you go first.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 things here. One is Epstein had a horrible reputation at that time, yet most people, it seems, didn't care. So, I mean, this guy seems like he's the exception rather than the rule, which is incredibly sad and disappointing and disheartening. But I don't think it's necessarily surprising, which we've talked about many times before. And the other thing is the downside of something like this is guilt by association, right? And I think that's really the point of the story. The reason we have courts set up and we have a due process set up is so that something like this doesn't happen. But when you get wrapped up into this, sensationalized story with Epstein for really obvious reasons, things like this fall through the crack. So if you're just named in the Epstein file, suddenly you're guilty of association, which is, I'm going to use the term, it's un-American.
Pomp, how do you probably, you get invited to a lot of stuff. You get a lot of emails that come to you.
I got something even crazier for you. There's people in the chat are saying that I'm in the Epstein files, right? So Saturday night when DOJ releases it, all of a sudden my phone blows up. The hell? How? I don't know who this guy is. Never talked to this guy. So I say, how am I in the Epstein files? See an email. It's a phishing email. The phishing email is somebody used my name with with a fake email. That's not my email. And it says that I am. I think there's 2 or 3. It says that I'm an informant for the IRGC.
What?
And he better give me $10,000. And this is an email to Epstein's brother.
It.
I swear. This
is the funniest.
This
story.
is in the DOJ Epstein file release. And so I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on here? And
Did you know that before? I mean,
no, I had no clue.
God.
So in the file release. So the reason why I say this is because. Now, remember, this is sent in 2020. This is when, Bitcoin, everything was ripping, all this kind of stuff. We were getting these phishing emails. Every person I ever talked to in my life, every person I ever knew, our investment firm, we were getting these all over the place.
That is so funny.
Now, here's what's crazy. 2 things I took away from this. This is obviously not me, just for the record.
So you're not part of the IRGC.
I'm not part of the IRGC. And as one friend told me, he goes, I knew it wasn't you because you would ask for more than 10K. Right? But is now anybody who is caught in any email, who is mentioned, all stuff, they get, kind of your guilt by association thing. That's very real. There's a lot of people caught up in this who had nothing to do, which hides the people who actually did do bad things. So by going and trying to label everybody, you actually are able to protect the people who actually did bad stuff, who should get found and prosecuted. The second thing is that when you go and you look at this, it took me 30 minutes, 45 minutes to figure out whether this was a real email or not. I saw somebody tweet it, and I said, "Is that AI? Is it real? Is it not?" I had to go and I found the file, right? Went to the thing, and all this kind of stuff. And so what it started getting me think about is like this guy not only did he resist it multiple times, but he explicitly says that he had a bad reputation. We've heard from a lot of other people who said, "Oh, I didn't know what his reputation was," all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so either those people are lying, or they actually didn't know, right? They just got introduced to somebody, whatever. They didn't Google them, all this kind of stuff. It now makes me, every time I get introduced to somebody new, I do a little bit of homework, right? Especially when you know that they are kind of involved in some of these elite circles, et cetera. And so I think it's just a good reminder to everybody is, look, just know the people that you're doing stuff with and spend a couple minutes figuring that out so you're not caught in any of these situations. And good for this guy
It is so true.
to say, hey, look, I don't want to meet you.
I think this is actually a good story because every story is something bad. Brandon.
Yeah. Do you think they're doing the thing where they're associating so many people with it that that gets discredited, so it like protects people who actually are associated with it, because they're almost like diminishing the credibility of these reports that are coming out with the amount of people that are attached to it. Like it's amazing that we're finding a connection potentially between like every major person out there and Epstein. So I almost wonder if they're trying to diminish the allegation of that. You know what I mean?
You think that's what it is? Wait.
No, not with a specific case, but
I
wonder if they're.
Hillary Clinton was being asked about it, and she's like, release all the files. We don't know anything about this. I didn't have a relationship with the fellow. And then she gets asked about, how about Ghislaine Maxwell? I think I met her at a couple, Clinton Foundation events, but I don't have a relationship with her. Yet at the same time, when her daughter got married, and Rob was saying this earlier, they had 500 people there. Nobody just walks onto that. And then Ghislaine Maxwell has a seat right there. Zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's Chelsea. That's the father. That's Ghislaine right there at the wedding. So, look, there's different angles and different directions to go. All I'm saying is for this specific story to isolate, kudos to him for what he's doing. And it's something everybody has to be aware of nowadays more than ever before. Let me get to the next thing. By the way, Tony Robbins and I were speaking. He said something to me. He said one guy came to me. I think he stole a lot of money from him, some big number, $400 million, massive number that he talks about.
Somebody stole that from Tony?
From Tony in a business deal. He says, moving forward, what we did is every single person that we went into business with, we did an extensive background check on them. So if you raise money from someone, they will do they've probably done it to you multiple times. They'll do a background check, and they did mine. It was this thick, and the investor came to me and says, okay, we're greenlit, moving forward. I said, what did you find? He says, did you know your license was suspended twice? I said, twice? I thought it was once. He said, no, it was twice. I said, wow, when was the second time? He said, well, that's the worst thing that came out. I said, oh, okay, that's great to know. So these people that are putting money, you got to do the background check. I had the Heritage Foundation president yesterday here, Dr. Kevin Roberts. And their job for vetting, Pomp, which is very interesting, is you want to you become a president. Let's just say Pomp becomes a president, but you've never been a senator, Congress, so you don't know the swamp, you don't know the people. You're like Trump. You're not like Bush or Biden. They already know everybody, right? You come to us, we're Heritage. We vet the names, and we have draft picks for each position. You want this? 7 names, draft pick, they vet. This background, this came out, this came out, this came out. Here's what direction you want to go with these candidates that you have. Even with that vetting process, think about who gets through, right? Because I asked the question yesterday. I said, if a person came to you that wants to give $2 million to the foundation, but if they were on the Epstein Island, would you take the money? So now charities have to be careful with this. Campaigns have to be careful with this, right? This gets very tricky, slippery slope. And, even there was the photo company that was taking pictures of kids in schools that the school all of a sudden said, no, we don't want to deal with this company that comes and takes pictures of schools because the investor was on the Epstein list in a bad way. The school did a timeout. We're no longer taking pictures with this company. They went to a different direction.
SPF. When he was giving out all the money to the politicians and stuff, if you did a background check on him, it would have came back super clean. So it's not just about the person; it's also where's the money coming from.
Yeah.
Right. So it is. I mean, look, these are first world problems. If somebody's going to a foundation saying I'll give $2 million, but there is that is part now of vetting is who's the person and where's the money coming from.
This kind of goes into where some of the high intense background check products being good.
You see IMG Academy?
What about it?
Oh, pull this up. Do a IMG Academy sanction. I just saw this, I think it was yesterday or the day before. IMG now had to pay a $1.7 million fine for accepting students and tuition linked to the Mexican cartel.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Oh
February
my
17th.
Stop it. So go a little bit lower, Rob. Go a little bit lower. Okay. An elite Florida came in and jumped on 1.7 settlement for accepting tuition from 2 students that ties with the Mexican cartel. IMG Academy, a prestigious Bradenton prep school known as a powerhouse, will work over massive sum for after. Wow.
I mean, but this is like serious, right?
We were there a few months ago. Or
this is
someone
US
to one of
Treasury-
their camps.
U.S. Treasury Department. I mean, this is like serious stuff. Now, again, how many students go to that school over all these years?
How do you track it, though?
Two students, and now you got headlines. You got to pay $1.7 million fine.
But how do you track that, though? How do you
what's
know where the
hard.
money is coming from?
And that's a trade-off if you try to go the route of tracking it, because then that's like control of your money.
Federal official who didn't name the students or specify the sports they played said IMG accepted the tuition of $98,000 for one and $102,000 for another from 2 specially designated national individuals who provided money and services to sanctioned drug cartels. But how would they know? Did they? Because the only way they're paying a fine is because the paper trail showed that they knew where the money was coming from and they accepted it.
The bank should have known. I mean, that's a KYC issue. The bank should have known that this was dirty money and these are
Know your
dirty
clients?
individuals.
Yeah. Go a little bit lower. Go a little bit lower.
Which raises other questions, but
There it is. So it was hit with 89 penalties for violating the foreign narcotics kingpin sanctions
yeah,
regulations.
So the bank should have known that these individuals.
So why are they paying the fine?
I don't know.
There's always a lot of details to this
Guys,
stuff.
you guys are the smartest. I'm expecting an answer.
We're missing
This
information.
is
here. We're
AI
absolutely
beating you?
missing
Don't let
information.
AI do this to you. I'm expecting an answer from you guys.
Banks get away with things.
Can you
But
check
if
with
you look
Grok?
at this, right, like there's also a bunch of companies now that have all popped up that first started in crypto, now they're doing it in the traditional banking world, tokenization, all this stuff. They're going to be doing this stuff is trying to figure out, where do these assets come from? And it's all like CYA stuff.
But you know what this tells me? This tells me we need a product for this.
Yeah.
This is a big problem to solve. You need it moving forward.
And I mean, not to get off topic, but I mean, they say that if it wasn't for drug money in 2007, that the whole banking system would have crashed. So it's probably not a thread that they want to pull on.
Wait, what?
So, wait, are you supporting drug money coming?
I'm not. I'm saying that
Brandon.
the banking system allegedly depends on it, according to what reports said in 2008,
2008, the banking system didn't crash because there was drug money?
because there was drug money in the banks.
Who said this?
There's
What
a report.
is
There's
this?
articles that say that. Yeah.
Oh, look
not
that
to go
up.
down a rabbit hole, but that was a
Brandon.
He didn't even go to Google. He went to ChatGPT.
No,
He's
Brandon is like, we have our annual sales leadership summit that is coming up this year. We're doing it at the Trump Doral. I went to the property the other day. Unbelievably beautiful property. And if you're a sales person or a sales leader or a CEO that wants to drive sales and find superstars and develop superstars, Rob, play that clip that you have. I think Alicia sent it to you. Go right ahead, buddy.
I got a question for you. Which of these 2 skill sets guarantee success more? You being able to recruit rock stars, 8s and 9s, coming in talented and they change the company overnight. Or 2, you knowing how to develop rock stars. Which of these 2 guarantees success? From my experience, when I was not a rock star and I got lucky and I recruited a rock star, I could never keep the rock star. Eventually, I obsessed over developing people to succeed in sales. Once I did that, all the rock stars started knocking on the doors because they wanted to work with me. This is why once a year I host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. This year we're doing it March 25th through the 27th at Trump Doral. If you want to find out how you and your team can attend this event to learn how to become better sales leaders, click on a link below, fill out your information. One of our consultants will get a hold of you.
There you go, Rob. That's the QR code, and we're going to put the link below. Rob, if you can put the link below as well for people to go learn more about it and fill out the information. One of our representatives will call you and answer any questions you may have about the event, and hopefully we'll see you there March 25th to the 27th at the Trump Doral. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.